everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Circle City Conversations, brought to you by Hurst Limontes, Indiana's personal injury law firm for over 50 years. Their mission has been simple: to stand up for people and families whose lives have been changed forever. They focus on catastrophic injury and wrongful death cases. If tragedy strikes, you don't have to go through it alone. Call them at 317-636-0808. I am here with my guest, Dawson Jones.
Good to be here.
Dawson, thanks for joining us. Dawson works here at Hurst Limontes, recent law school graduate. We were just talking about having kids, a father of three young children.
Yeah, 3 young children. I don't know how that happened, but here we are.
Well, I know exactly how it
I guess.
but that's another episode for another day. So, thanks. Yeah, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Alex.
So Dawson, you're a law clerk here, right?
Yeah.
And I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the bar exam and the bar exam experience. But first, before we get into that, I want you to tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Dawson Jones. I started working here at Hurst Limontes my first year, and I just kind of fell in love with the place. I was primarily working under Charles Hubley. He was one of the better attorneys that I had ever been around. I went to IU McKinney, and for 3 years, I had 2 children along the way during that time. Not too sure how I got through looking back on it, but here we are. And now I've just sat for the bar exam, July 2025, and it was a very grueling experience, to say the least.
So you mentioned a couple things.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't have to do was raise a family, raise kids in law school. What would be some tips or some advice that maybe you would give to a young parent that's wanting to go to law school or grad school or just go back to school while raising a family?
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely have them participate in the process along the way and kind of lay some ground rules like, hey, we're going to do this together, but you guys have to understand my time for the next 3 years is going to be very limited, but it will pay off in the long run. Like, we're going to do this together for us, but the next 3 years may be a little choppy. I would also just definitely choose the right spouse, to have a spouse that's going to be there for you, along the way, and make sure she's picking up slack with the kids, helping where she can, giving you the time you need to study. And just someone that has the mutual mindset that this is for us and our family.
Yeah.
Was probably the biggest help that I had along the way.
Yeah. I love that concept of making it a team effort and teaching your kids the importance of working together as a team. And then also the importance of having to sacrifice to get what you want. That's a big thing in our house. Like, my kids are growing up in a different house than I grew up in. We had very little growing up, and I've been very fortunate, but trying to relay that message to my kids and teach them the importance of sacrifice, understanding that. I think that's a wonderful lesson. I think that's important. And some people that I've known that have seen their parents go through schooling and grad school. My mom obtained her PhD.
Yeah.
When I was in middle school.
That's awesome, Alex. I actually didn't know that about you.
Yeah. So she was
a smarty pants too. Huh?
She did. Yeah. So, but she, I saw that it was important for us, and she was very big on education as well. It was one of the kind of cornerstones of our childhood growing up. So I think that's really important to teach them that. So my
dad was really big on education too. And what he did was he made me work some pretty disgusting jobs when I was a 16-year-old. Specifically, he made me go dig wells and do some septic and sewer stuff with my uncle. And the whole primary goal that he had in doing that was telling me, hey, this is to make you value an education.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it's going to be some type of work like this. I mean, you can make good money doing it, but if you don't like doing it and you figure that out now, at least you know you need to go get an education.
Yeah.
And when I was 16 years old, I decided, education is
Right.
probably the route to go at this point because I don't want to deal with sewers anymore.
What's your dad's name?
Steve Jones.
Steve Jones.
Yeah.
So get an education or else you're going to spend the rest of your life shoveling shit.
Yeah. Hey, it worked out. It worked out. I just went to law school. I think.
Love it.
Thinking it was a good plan.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it worked, especially for, some people wouldn't have been able to process that and understand it, Yeah. So good on you for doing that. So we want to talk a little bit, not about your lovely family or anything like that, but about the bar exam.
Yeah.
It was a recent experience for you. How would you describe the testing environment there?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the setting, where it was, kind of anyone that hasn't taken the bar exam, maybe, how long it is, things like that.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, the bar exam is 2 days of testing. Your first day, you're going to have a 3-hour session, and it's going to be the MPT, and then another 3-hour session of essays. And then the second day is just all multiple choice, but 2 3-hour sessions. Indiana's was in Carmel. I'm not too sure the name of the building, but it was actually, in terms of the setting, it was pretty calming. I mean, they had chandeliers everywhere. The tables were just kind of lined up, adequate spacing and everything. The one issue that they do have there is parking. So if you don't get there 30 minutes before, I got there 30 minutes before, but even then I had to park in the very back of the building, and I found, honestly, a spot in the grass.
Was anyone like running in, like breathing?
In fact, the moderator or some of the people that were on the microphones every so often would be like, if you are parked in so-and-so car, it is going to be towed. You need to move it. And people would have to run out like right before the exam was about to start to go leisure. Yeah. I'm like, that would be a terrible way to come back. Like moving your car real quick, running back. Yeah.
Uber, dude. Uber. Uber there. Even if you're coming from Valpo or some shit, like just Uber. Well, you'd stay the night. I posted on Facebook. I was trying to figure out the name of the place where I took the exam, which was in Plainfield, Indiana. It was right by the Harley Davidson place. Yeah. I think it's like a warehouse, like a shipping warehouse, like trucking logistics center now.
Oh, wow.
But I'm not sure.
I'm glad I took it where I took it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure, but I stayed the night. Actually, there was a couple of like Days Inn or Quality Inns or whatever right there at the exit. So we just stayed the night there. And it made it a lot easier. I was coming from the northeast side of Indianapolis.
What about the Florida one you took? Was that
Florida one was in Tampa.
Okay.
I stayed the night at a hotel near the Tampa Convention Center.
Yeah.
That was a very different experience than the Indiana one.
Yeah.
There was more people, like a lot more people. Aside from the fact that I was already working full-time as a lawyer here when I took it, but there was a lot more people, and there was a lot more people doing it, typing it on laptops. Yeah.
You were probably right in that transitional period of laptops and right.
Yeah. 44 years old, man. I was born in 1980. Like I'm on the cusp of whatever those generations are. I don't know what the hell they are, but, I grew up without internet, drinking from the water hose outside in South Florida.
Yeah.
Go hot water,
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Like, like our parents would lock us out. They'd be like, you're not coming back in. Get out of here. Because every time you open the door, you lost air conditioning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Lord, I can imagine it.
And the bills go up, My mom actually put, you see them around here. You see them in commercial buildings.
Yeah.
They put locks on the thermostat. Have you seen them? The clear boxes that are allowed?
Yeah. They have them on Airbnb.
My mom had those at our house. It's still there.
She said no, get to 7.
No, 78.
Oh,
that's what you get. You get 78. And that's, it's you get
sweating inside and outside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but what our electric bill was a set amount every time, Yeah. So you talked about some of the things that happened during the bar exam. Was there anything else that was kind of unexpected that you didn't think was going to happen that did occur, aside from the parking thing?
Aside from the parking thing, that was really the main thing that was just kind of unexpected. You get there. I think the first day I arrived at like 8:37, and
Yeah.
just trying to find parking at, by the time I'm done, it's like 8:53, and test starts at 9. I'm like, man, it just took me almost 20 minutes to find parking, and
Yeah.
running in there, getting in line. But in terms of unexpectedness, besides, there was 2 essay topics that were very, very unexpected, and I'm not going to get into them, but let's just say one of them had never been tested on a bar exam ever, 0% on the stats.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was definitely unexpected. Somehow I used my common sense, pulled something out that I think was all right. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's move on to that topic, which is essentially preparation.
Yeah.
Preparing for it, because I think that was a good point that you just made. I'm sure even nowadays there are many more statistics on questions that have been asked.
Yeah.
What to expect, moving forward, because these courses like the Indy Bar Prep Review, the Barbary courses, all of these courses have been around a long time now. So they've been able to collect that data and look at what some of the test questions are. So
yeah,
to let's say a young law student that obviously has never taken the bar exam, but wants to kind of know what to expect, I explain to them how, when you're sitting in there in those prep courses, and I've done them, they tell you, okay, expect for this. They tested this last year, or they tested this the last 2 out of 6 years, or, kind of explain that process. And that way, maybe some folks that are listening realize that you don't have to necessarily know everything, even though they expect you to.
Yeah.
They
definitely expect
they do. They expect you to know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can't, no one could possibly do that. I mean, it's just too much information.
Yeah.
Even, this, you see us practicing law. We pull open our not books now, but we research things. We still don't, know everything off the top of our head.
And that, another thing with that is that the law is always changing in terms of case law and some of the things we practice here. But for the MBE, like the multiple choice questions, it's a pretty clear set of topics. Most of them are the 1L courses you have to take your first year that, by the end of your third year, you should kind of have at least the general understanding of all those courses, and then just re-reviewing them was pretty easy and just understanding those topics. But where it gets dicey is the essay topics, because there's such a broad range of available topics that they can choose from. Whether it's like family law, trust, secure transactions, some of those other courses you don't necessarily have to take in law school that could still show up on the bar exam. What I would recommend that I did is I tried to get as many of those courses that were going to be on the bar exam in school, just so I had a general understanding. So things like secure transactions, family law, even trusts. Trusts and trusts. That's another one. Courses that are going to be on the bar exam, it really would help you just to take them in law school, so that when you go to the bar prep, it's not learning all this new information. Like, what does that mean? You have a general understanding, like, oh, wait, I kind of remember that as you're doing the preparation. So that, another thing too is expect the unexpected. If they, from my experience this year, if they tell you that a topic is not going to be tested, still just briefly go over it and try to understand the general concepts of it, because you never know what's going to be on the exam.
Yeah. I when I was in law school, I never took secure transactions. I never took UCC. I never took any of those classes.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Secure transactions is a tough one to try to relearn.
And that is, so that's where I struggled on the bar exam. Fortunately, the essay was a hybrid with other areas of law aside from secure transactions. So I focused on what I was good at, what I knew that I could do well. So
that's good.
Yeah. It's, and you're absolutely right. Expect the unexpected, and at a minimum, consider the topics that you don't know much about. And I wish I would have taken secured transactions. I wish I would have taken tax law with Jagan, who taught it for many years. I just kind of avoided those because I thought it would be too much for me, and I was totally disinterested in it.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was definitely disinterested in secured transactions. Absolutely. But I just knew it was going to be on the bar exam, so I took some of them. There's still some courses I don't think I necessarily took. I'm trying to think of one that was on there, but regardless, it will, if you're looking at a course like, I don't want to take secure transactions, if it's going to be on the bar exam, just take the course. Just learn it before you have to take the bar exam. It will help you in the long run.
Absolutely.
It really will.
And now as a business owner, I wish I would have taken secure transactions. And when I was in college, it was even worse. I was like, no, I'm a sociology major. I'm not taking any business courses.
Yeah, and now you're a business owner.
Now I'm a business owner. So talk about, a steep curve now, now I'm trying to learn how to run a business like an actual business owner would.
But, I hear people talk about the best way to learn is to just start running your own business too. I think you've done a great job. I think that it's just about learning from things that work and don't work along the way is the best way to learn.
Yeah, we had Brian Wilsey. Remember what he said? He said, I'm the kind of guy that likes to build the airplane while I'm flying. Yeah, I thought that was funny. Yeah. Dangerous, but funny and a good way to learn. And that's why I even went to law. I mean, I went to law school downtown because I didn't want, or I wanted more practical experience. And I knew that I could have more practical experience in the city versus in a college town.
Yeah.
And so that's where I knew that I was going to do, my best work, actually doing the work instead of studying it and learning about it.
Yeah. So that's exactly, that was the same thought process I had. Yeah. I started thinking about Bloomington. I'm like, it might be a little harder to study down there and just.
Yeah. I just, and sure enough, I mean, I got a job here as a law clerk.
Yeah.
When I was in law school. So, let's talk a little bit about, burnout, and because leading into the bar exam, it's a tremendous amount of studying, hours and hours a day, like full-time job, 8 to 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
I knew some people that were studying 12 hours a day, which is a lot. And that's a lot of time to spend with your nose in a book. Did you ever get to the point where you were burnt out on it? And what did you do to get past it or to avoid that?
Yeah. So there's definitely going to be some points within that month and a half, 2-month period of just studying 8 to 10 hours a day where you just feel like, just drained for a day. You're looking at a screen, doing note cards, doing your book. I would take breaks. I mean, I know they say that usually, for every hour you work, you want to take at least like a 10-minute brain break. But with the bar exam, I wouldn't say that short of a duration. I'd probably say like I would do 3 or 4 hours, take at least a 30-minute break, give my brain some time to rest, and then go back into it. And I would take a little bit more time at the beginning just to like give myself like easing into it. And then at the end is when I really, like the last 2 weeks, those were the 12-hour days. Those were the days where I had to make sure, get everything prepped, get everything going. And then what me and my friends did on like the last day or two before is that we just stopped studying. Like we just stopped studying. We gave our brain a break, rested, spent some time outside. And
I don't know by then.
Yeah. I used to be one of those people that where I'm like, any available time I have for a test of that magnitude.
You would be.
Yeah. But now my friend was like, hey, you just need to give your brain a break. It's going to work. And I think it worked out all right. So what about you? Did in your study prep, burn out that?
Yeah, I didn't burn out the second time when I took the Florida bar exam.
Yeah.
Because I had already passed the Indiana bar, and I thought to myself, listen, if I don't pass it, I'm going to practice in Indiana.
Yeah.
So, and I really took the Florida bar exam. My mom wanted me to take it.
Yeah.
I think she thought that I would move back to Florida.
Yeah.
I passed it.
At least she has the comfort of knowing you can handle cases down
there. Yeah. And we do have some down there, and
yeah.
And I'm an adopted Hoosier and a native Floridian. And, part of the reason, that I don't run back to Florida is because the people in Indiana are very different than Floridians.
Yeah.
So they really are.
I've only experienced Florida on some mini and longer vacations, so maybe I'm just like in a state of ecstasy down there with all the down at this.
Well, that's how all Midwest. Yeah, that's how all Midwesterners are. I remember. So I was at Hanover, and we had this weird 4-4-1 schedule for small schools. So it was 4 classes in the fall, 4 classes in the winter, and then 1 class in May. And it was called a Maymester. It was spring term, but you went to class 2 hours in the morning, and then everyone partied all day, the rest of the day.
That's how
usually, like that's, So it was like summer school, but it was just essentially from May 1st to the end of May. But in February, we used to get a week off. of school. For winter break, they would give us this week off on top of because of the schedule. And our spring break was always later on in April. So it was after everyone else was done with their spring break. So, so in February, I'd take a bunch of buddies down from Hanover, and they're all Midwesterners, all Midwestern guys. Some of them played football with me, and it was so funny to watch them like run out into the water like little kids,
like they get to that
frolic and like playing and like splashing each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, you guys are like 19, 20 years old, and you're like,
very much.
Yeah. I just thought it was hilarious. There was one night we actually were out there all night and we watched the sunrise. Like we were out all night. Yeah. And then some of us actually fell asleep on the beach and we got sunburned. So we woke up around 11 or noon and we were like, oh shit.
That sounds like a fun night.
Yeah, that was a good night.
Beach sunset though.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
Yeah. And well, because my hometown's on the east coast of Florida, so you could watch the sunrise, not the sunset. West Coast. The West Coast has beautiful sunsets.
Yeah.
I never really experienced the West Coast of Florida until I moved to the Midwest, because that's a very popular place for Midwestern people to go on vacation. And it's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's much more family friendly than the east coast of Florida because the beaches are a little bit friendlier. Yeah. You've got that Atlantic water kind of coming in, and there's a strong undertow, and there's tons of rocks like in my hometown.
Yeah. You're talking more on the side of where like Fort Lauderdale and some of those places are, right?
That's the east coast of Florida. Yeah. Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Jupiter. You go north to where I'm at, Cocoa Beach area, Cape Canaveral,
Cocoa Beach. That's all.
St. Augustine, Jacksonville. That's all there. And then you go further south to Miami.
Yeah, St. Augustine used to be my family spot. That's a pretty good family spot.
It's the oldest city in North America.
Yeah.
It's got this old Spanish fort. Have you ever been there? Dude, you have to check it out. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a cool old town.
We've been like 3 years in a row because we just fell in love with it.
Yeah, it's I knew some people that went to school there. Flagler College is there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, some wealthy millionaire from Florida many years ago, over 100 years ago. He built a railroad from the northern part of Florida all the way down to South Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
He
was like famous. Yeah, he was famous for that. But anyways, the Florida bar exam was a very different experience for me. That was a lot shorter prep. Mm-hmm. But in Indiana, I was very similar to you or like Leda and Conrad, I did do more studying the closer the exam came, but then the day before I didn't do anything. And then I remember actually the day in between, because you have that one night in between.
Yeah.
We were out there in Plainfield and there was this Harley Davidson bar like right by there. Yeah. Oh yeah. We were out there. Me and my buddy, he's a lawyer now for Gaylor Electric. I gotta get him on the show. Danny Kent, his mom, Mary Jane LaPointe, is one of the best known employment discrimination attorneys. Like she's retired now, but she was one of the first females to try cases against major corporations here in Indiana for employment discrimination.
Yeah.
Against women, against minorities, things like that.
It's a tough bar.
Yeah.
Those are tough cases.
So it was her son, Daniel Kent, who's a buddy of mine. I've known him since we were in law school.
Yeah.
Yeah. He and we shared a hotel room. We rented a room right there. And if anyone that knows Danny, he's a great guy, super, super smart guy. But if Danny's the kind of guy, he's like, hey, let's just grab a bucket of beer. And I was like, fuck yeah, we're not going to learn anything new, and we're in between. This is super stressful, so
that's exactly what I wanted to do, but
no. We had, and it was funny because like some people it was the only restaurant there, like grill kind of restaurant where you could get some hot food. And then some people would come in and get food, and then they'd see us. We were like playing pool, like drinking beers and like playing pool and shit. And they were like, "You guys are crazy." And I'm like, "Well, you guys are gonna go back and like study more? What are you gonna learn tonight that you need tomorrow?" I think day 2 was essays. Is that how it is? Or
no, now day 2 is the multiple choice. So I'm listening to you now. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Multiple choice. Yeah. You probably have that down. No.
Yeah. Well, that's where I did. That's where I did the best, was on the multiple choice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because
what I said.
that's where I did the best when I took the Indiana bar. And actually, the multiple choice is the reason why I passed the Florida bar, because they average your scores, your essay score. They average your essay score and your multiple choice score. And in Florida, I was able to pass because my multiple choice score was high enough to pull the essay score out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's what I'm hoping for.
It was helpful.
In the bar prep courses, that's what I was definitely a lot better at.
Yeah.
I was pretty high up there. So
yeah. So multiple choice. Let's talk a little bit about the format of the test. We mentioned multiple choice. How many questions? 200?
200. I think 175 are scored and then 25 are test questions for the next bar.
Mm-hmm.
But they scale that back to like the 200 and kind of do it on a curve. I'm not too sure how the bar curve works, but
yeah,
there's some type of curve with the multiple choice.
It's not very well. There's two answers.
Yeah,
that arguably could be good answers, right?
Yeah. That's how it is every time. It's like there's going to be one answer that is correct, but not as correct as one of the other answers, and that's how they get you. There's two that you can just mark off right away, like not this one, not this one. Maybe, and they're like, this one's more correct. Yes, this one could work, but it's like,
I honestly, I don't know how older practicing lawyers, like, I've been doing this for almost 18 years now. Older practicing lawyers we get so set in our ways in the way we've done things. I would be frustrated trying to take that. And then I would probably get into an argument where it'd be like, well, this one's right because of this, Yeah, right.
Exactly what I did. Yeah, I need coming to Brie. I'm like, explain this. I tried to explain it to her, and she's like, Dawson, you just need to learn why you're wrong and stop trying to argue why you're wrong. I'm like,
yeah. That's just a natural tendency for us who've been practicing a long time. I can tell you this. I was 20. I was in my 20s when I took the Florida bar exam. I was a year out of law school.
Yeah,
but I was a public defender.
Yeah,
so I couldn't do that nowadays. I don't think. I mean, I would take it, but I think I could pass it. It's just my lack of patience. I have so little patience now compared to for that kind of shit. You know, compared to what I did before. So
absolutely.
As far as feeling any pressure or what, maybe we'll talk a little bit about your motivation as well. Did you feel more pressure from the exam itself or from what passing the exam means for your future? Because it is a big deal. You have to pass it to practice law.
Definitely the effect on the future part. You take final exams in law school throughout the whole time, and those are big. I mean, they're worth 100% of your grade, but this was a different type of feeling going into this exam. The pressure that came with this, and it wasn't necessarily the exam itself and answering questions. I mean, I've been doing that for 3 years in law school. It was the effect of this exam on your future. And I just saw a video the other day where the guy was kind of describing what it's like waiting for your results. And he's like, I'm just kind of sitting here waiting to figure out whether I get to go on with my future as a lawyer or if I have to go get a different job in a big boy world and wait 6 more months and then have all the school debt. It's like there's two. Yeah, you definitely feel the weight of it, especially if you take out loans for school and everything. It's like you gotta get this in. So
the children.
Yes. Yeah. That is the other
family.
That's the other thing. Yeah. It's definitely a lot of pressure on the effect of it.
Yeah. Having a family, not only does it increase your costs and what you have to spend to be able to live just a normal lifestyle, but then you have to worry about their future and your future.
Yeah.
Your future and their future is tied.
Yeah.
They're tied to each other, and at least for the first 18 years.
Yeah.
So,
and like I said, we've been working together throughout it. So, there's days where I'm studying, especially during bar prep, where I'd have, little girl come in, hey, Dad, can we play? And Dad, and it's like, hey, I just sit there and remind her, hey, I'm doing this for us. It's going to work out. She'd understand. And so, yeah, it's definitely the pressure of the impact of the exam on your future. And the fact that it's only administered 2 times a year I think that's really what makes the effect so stressful, is that if you don't pass, you have to wait another 6 months to do it again. And if you, and
Yeah.
don't get me started on thinking about having to go through that study process again for 2 months. Like that would be horrendous.
I was talking to my nephew who finished up his freshman year at Purdue.
Yeah.
He's in their aviation training program. Like they have a flight school there. That's a really good flight school.
That's awesome. That's another profession that's pretty safe.
Yeah. And so I was talking to him. One of the most kind of vivid memories I have from law school, from undergrad, and from the bar exam is that moment where you walk out, for example, in undergrad when you take your last final of the semester and you're walking out and you have this like weight off your shoulders.
Yeah.
So, and the same for law school, you take your last final, summer's coming, or winter break is coming, For me, I got to go down to Florida during the winter time, which was nice, so
I'm lucky.
Yeah. And during the summertime too, I went down to Florida. So that was nice. But, so how did you feel that moment that you walked out of that examination room on day 2?
Well, the feeling you just described, but like times a million. Like I remember walking out of finals in law school. I remember walking out of finals in undergrad, those big tests, but walking out of there, I saw a kid, I'm not kidding you, Alex, I saw kids running to their cars to get out.
Wow.
There was multiple kids I saw just dashing to their vehicles, like not walking fast. I know they're running to their cars, ready to just get out of there. And yeah, like you said, it was like a weight. You almost felt lighter as you walked out of the room. As you're walking out, it was like, oh. And then you have people calling you, how do you feel? Is everything okay? And
you replay questions?
Oh, yes, I did.
Everyone replays questions.
Yes. On my way home, I probably checked 20 or 30 questions that I was, just like throughout the whole day of like the first multiple choice, second multiple choice. I just like random ones would pop in my head. Like, I want to make sure I got that one right. Just to go through it on my phone. But
that's the thing. I took it in 07. We were talking about razor phones.
Yeah.
That's what I had a razor.
Razors.
You're talking about Katie Cares had a pink razor, and she admitted to it, actually.
Yeah. Well, I actually predicted that. I looked at her one day and I said, you had a pink razor back in those times. And she goes, I did. How did you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, but we didn't have that. I couldn't hop on my razor phone and get on the internet and search stuff,
Yes.
So you just kept on replaying everything in your head, and you went down this spiral. Yeah. And then I'd go back and look at books.
Yeah.
Because we had, did you do Barbary or Indie Bar?
I did Barbary.
Did they give you books, or do they?
Yeah,
they still give you books.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, a majority of it is all online. So I use the books as through the lectures, just because I feel like if you're reading and actually writing with your hand, you're going to memorize there. But most of all of it's just like online and practice questions and stuff. I think there's pros and cons to what you're saying. Like, not if you going home didn't have the ability to like test whether you knew what you got right or not, you're probably just walking like, okay, I'm done. Versus when you do have the ability, it's like you just start second guessing everything on your way home. You're like, okay, this one, let's check this one. And but I guess if you're saying you got home and you started reading the books and started going through it, it's still the same difference. You just had to wait on the way home.
My mom actually found my Florida Barbary books that I borrowed from someone.
Oh,
yeah. She was like, do you still need these? I was like, fuck no, I don't need those things. Burn them. Plus, they're probably not even good anymore. Frankly. That was 20 years ago.
It'd be cool to kind of compare and contrast the differences between that and like the new ones, to be honest, and see how much has changed.
Yeah. So, well, we'll see. We're going to be taking some cases down in Florida. We've already got some, so.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, are you already imagining, how you'll react when those results come in?
Yeah, I've had two thoughts in my head.
Yeah, obviously.
One of devastation and then one of just absolute joy and excitement.
Are you planning on what's the date? When do they release them?
It's near the end of September. I don't know the exact date. I think it varies by jurisdiction. I heard Missouri's was going to be like September 28th or something. So I assume Indiana's somewhere around
in that area.
Yeah, somewhere in that area.
How do they do it? Do they post it online or?
I think that's actually how they do it. I think you will get a individual email, but they also just post like the name list. So that's another thing that makes it stressful if you have friends in law school, because everyone's going to go with the name list. You don't see a name, they're like, oh my goodness, now everyone else knows I didn't pass it too. So that's another, just part of the profession though. It kind of fits the lawyer profession a little bit.
Do they give you your score?
Yeah, they do give you the score.
They didn't do that. And here, they did it in Florida.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it here in 07, at least.
Well, I think they do it now at the UBE because every jurisdiction has like a different number.
Yeah.
So to know your score, like for Indiana, for example, I think we're 264. And then you have some other states that, like Arizona, I think they're a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So having your score to know which jurisdiction you can transfer to.
Yeah.
That's why they do it now.
I have a friend who I actually know a couple people that sat for the California bar.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard about that one? 3 days.
It was 3. I did not know it was 3 days.
3-day bar exam.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Terrible.
What do they do? Is it like an extra test? It's
I
like,
don't know.
I bet you it's California state law one day. Like it's.
Oh, it probably is. Yeah. They've got to put the UB in there. But also in California, you don't have to graduate from an ABA accredited law school to take the bar.
What?
That's how it used to be. I don't know if it's still the same. We'll have to do a fact check on that.
Wait, are you talking about like the apprenticeship thing?
I don't know if it's an apprenticeship or what it is, but my understanding is I thought I knew someone that
did. Because not to bring up pop culture, but didn't Kim Kardashian try to do that? Where she had to like take.
Yeah, well, she's probably a fucking idiot.
Yeah, she couldn't bar. Because I think part of it is that you have to take like a baby bar before you get to the actual bar without actually going to law school, and she couldn't get past the baby bar or something.
Kim Kardashian and babies are two terms that it's like oil and water. My family immigrated here from Cuba after Fidel Castro took over, and this government took everything from my family, and that attracted me to be a lawyer. Insurance companies can be like bullies, and they have a lot of resources behind them. Give us a call here at Hurst Limontes. We are protective of our clients because our clients matter and you matter. At Hurst Limontes, we're a firm that believes in people. We don't just talk about justice or fairness, we live it. The Indiana Fever are trailblazers. They inspire not only in how they play, but how they lead in our Indiana community. Being a father changes everything. Supporting the Fever is one way that I show my kids what it means to believe in fairness, to believe in respect and possibility. At Hurst Limontes, we believe in those same things. The Fever stand for resilience, grit, determination, and heart. They aren't just a basketball team. They're a symbol of what's possible when you refuse to give up. Their impact ripples far beyond the court, and you can see it in the energy, pride, and hope that they create in our city. Whether you're a young girl dreaming of playing in the WNBA or a kid in a small town dreaming of becoming a lawyer, you belong. This partnership is proof of that. At Hurst Limontes, we believe in standing up for those people that are overlooked. From court to court, Hurst Limontes is your winning team. If you had to describe the bar exam in one word, what would it be?
And this is a tough one. Because I want to use, it's almost like I want to think of like 2 words, because the first word that comes to
2 words.
Yeah, the first word that came to mind is grueling.
Yeah,
definitely a grueling experience, but also there was also some excitement in it at the same time. Like you had just finished law school, you did what you needed to do, and now you're actually to that big boy stage of taking the exam to do and get certified of what you worked so hard for to get done. So the grueling part is definitely studying the 10 to 12 hours a day, but there is excitement even in this studying of like, I really did this. Like there's some feeling of accomplishment.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you? What do you have a word or two?
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You took 2 bar exams, so you can use one for each if you want.
I did. Probably stressful, you know.
Yeah.
That was pretty stressful both times, even though you try to avoid it, even though I was drinking beers the night in between. I mean, I was doing that because I was stressed out.
Yeah.
You know? So,
yeah.
I would say that was probably, it's, you know, it's like, I was talking to someone about pledgeship. I did pledgeship and a fraternity.
Yeah.
They are the best and the worst days of your life. It was something that you went through that a lot of people, you know, should go through because it does. There are a lot of psychological kind of benefits to it, but it was certainly something I would never want to do again in my life.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. And especially nowadays, I'm just too old for that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of avoided that part, having a kid early. I had a friend who was going to rush at IU and I was going to go through that, but then kid might have saved me from it. You know, it might have been too bad for me.
Yeah. I struggled a lot. It's my freshman year. I struggled a lot with, just with making friends and things. I was came up from Florida. I didn't really know a lot of people. Hanover is very much an Indiana or a regional school.
Yeah.
They will pull like, I don't know, we had half a dozen Roncalli football players that were in my class. Yeah. You know, people like that from just various different schools. And I didn't really know a lot of people. So I was looking for something to help me kind of get to know folks. And 70 at that point, at that time, about 80% of Hanover was Greek.
Yeah.
It was a big chunk of the school.
I mean, there's no better way to
80%.
You're coming up from Florida. I mean, there's no better way to probably make friends than rushing.
Yeah.
Freshman year. I mean,
yeah.
You probably have brothers for life.
I do. And I mean, those guys, you know, my best friend, Jacob Hauk, he was in my pledge class. He lives here in town. You know, bunch of guys that live out in Cincinnati and Kentucky and just friends like everywhere in the area. And we are lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw one of my buddies that I went to Hanover with. I hadn't seen him in years. I saw him at the Chris Stapleton concert. Came up, gave me a big hug. Yeah. Like, it was just, you know, they do help create these lifelong kind of bonds because of a lot of the things that you have to go through.
Yeah.
Which are childish and stupid and adolescent, but but they are and kind of pointless sometimes, even though they're, you know, later on when you get older, you kind of realize what the purpose of it was. But but not
only are you stupid and adolescent and making stupid decisions, but you have this thought in your mind that you're rational.
Yeah.
That you're not stupid, but you are. So that's
exactly. Yeah. So what was more stressful to you? Taking the bar exam or your first law school cold call?
Oh, that's actually a tough one. I mean, I guess the process of the bar exam is extremely stressful, but that day one imposter syndrome and you get your name called and I say, Dawson, you got to stand up and talk about really the law, and you don't know the law at that point. You have no idea. So you try to reiterate the facts, you try to explain it like you know it, and they put you in your place pretty quick. So to be, you know, not humiliated. No, you are. There's some points where you're 1L day one, like you can get humiliated in front of about 100 of your classmates. And it puts you in your place real quick to just let you know, though, hey, there's a lot you don't know.
Right.
So it puts you in that position like, okay, I need to learn.
Yeah.
And there is some benefits behind the Socratic method, but, you know, stressful bar exam prep, nervousness, definitely that first cold call.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Absolutely.
I mean, remember back that long. Do you remember your first cold call?
I don't have a problem getting up in front of a group of people and talking. This podcast shows you. So no, I wasn't. My problem with law school, at least at first, especially was the property course that I took. We had to do property. I struggled a lot with those concepts, and even in the contracts. I did. Torts, I understood. When we first read that Paul's graph case, I was like, that's some crazy shit that's just happened.
Yeah.
But I get it,
Yeah.
you know? So, I struggled with, I remember I read, the first case I read was, it was like UCLA Regents.
Yeah.
It was
Regents.
yeah, it was in property and class, and it was essentially about like stem cells or something, or cells that were they the property of the school, were they the property of and I remember sitting at McKinney, and it was a cafeteria there. When you walk in through the side entrance on the right hand side,
Yeah.
there used to be a little cafeteria there, and they serve food. I don't know if they still do that anymore.
Well, I mean, they have like a little cafeteria spot, but Enrico was actually telling me the other day, their cut to funding and everything, they got rid of it.
They did,
Yeah.
yeah. So they cut it down. It used to be like full blown, like hot food, all kinds of things. It was good. So I remember sitting there eating for like hours and hours, and I read this case over and over and over again, and I had no idea what it was saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been there.
You know, and frankly, when I got called about it the next day,
that was when you cold called.
Yeah, and I told the professor, and she was very nice, and I said, I almost said judge because I'm so used to saying judge. Really struggling with this, but that was basically what I said to her. I was like, Professor, Dr. Blankety Blank, I can't remember her name, but I said I really struggled with the concept and understanding it, and then she just moved on. So it was a little embarrassing, but I don't really give a shit.
Yeah,
But after that, it took me a little while to read these cases and understand what they're saying, because they really are changing the way that you think about things and how you see things and how you evaluate them. And part of that is learning the language and the lingo in the cases, and how, Chris Hickey was on the show the other day about Constitutional Day, and she said something that is one of the things they test on the LSAT is if this, then that. And that's how lawyers think. That's how if this, then that. And it's, you're just like building these things on top of each other.
Yeah.
Similar to how we build up a personal injury case.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of them are just a little, treatment, and they're not, the value isn't tremendous, but then some of these people have lifelong injuries, and you have to build these cases up by getting an expert, getting the right people to give their opinions and stuff. So, that was a concept that was really hard for me to grasp and apply it to these kind of real life situations. But as soon as I did, it was like, it's like that scene in the Matrix when Neo can see the Matrix. You know what I mean? You can see it. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Like everything just starts coming together.
Yeah. So, and took me a couple weeks, but when I got there, I started to kind of understand. And I never had the best grades in law school, mostly because I was working a lot. I worked at Don Pablo's up on the north side, slanging margaritas and tequila shots. So I worked at Capri Restaurant when I first got here. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's really good Italian food on the north side.
Yeah, I think I have been to Capri.
Yeah, so I worked there because I lived in the apartments right next to it.
Okay.
Capri at Somerset Lakes. So I was always, working, and I had people in my study group. I actually saw one of them. She lives in my neighborhood. Her name is Emily. I saw her and her kids walking. Yeah. We walked right past each other and gave each other a big hug. And cause we were in the same study group in law school.
That's awesome. That's awesome. A little reunion.
And she's right there in the neighborhood. And so, I remember, having to work essentially when they were doing study groups and things like that, just because I had to pay my way through law school.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, even though I did have a lot of student loans, most of those student loans were the trip to Europe, which was a great semester. The best GPA I ever had in law school. I made a lot of friends. It was wonderful, a great time learning about European Union law, which I don't use it all right now.
Very, very great.
But I did have a bungalow on the beach. On the Adriatic Ocean, which is beautiful. Yeah, it was beautiful. So
I've never been to Europe.
Yeah. You will one day. So, and it's such a cool place with so much history. I loved it. And there's great lawyers that live out there. Kevin McGough is a great lawyer. I should try to get him on the show.
Yeah.
He lives in the south of France.
South of France.
Yeah. Bill used to have a condo, like an apartment, not condo, but like an apartment in Paris.
Yeah, he told me that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was there in 2019 and 2020, right before COVID hit.
Dude,
he came back right before, because it hit over there first, and he was in France and Paris, and he came back, I think, in February.
Yeah.
Of 2020.
Yeah. Now he's always in what is it? Siesta Keys, or not Siesta Keys?
He's down south.
That little island off the.
He likes California too.
Oh,
Marco Island.
Marco Island.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
No, I was thinking of the one. Key West, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That's where every time he's ever coming back lately, it's always been Key West.
But, Bill had a house in Key West.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was going down to Key West in the 80s, probably the 70s too, before it was even like as popular as it is now.
Yeah, it's very popular now.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I grew up in Miami, South Miami, actually, down by Homestead Air Force Base.
Yeah.
And we had an old blue Chevy pickup truck, and it had a truck topper on it.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a single cab Chevy, and we have 5 kids in my family growing up.
Yeah.
So I remember we drove down to the Keys, and we didn't have much, so we tried to find a hotel, but we couldn't. So we all slept in the bed of the truck, up to the beach. And again, my older brother and my older brother Carlos were in the back in the bed of this truck, heading down the highway to the Keys, which is totally totally illegal. Yeah, but we were in back. No, it was in the 80s. No, we were riding in the back in the covered bed. Yeah. So, because there was only 3 seats up front, and
the older brother gave you trouble start.
No, I know. We used to fuck with each other a lot.
So, yeah, that's something I would have done to my brother.
He's a good guy. I tell you what, he's actually, so he's a manager at what's called Merrick Park Mall down in Coral Gables area. It's a really nice mall, like Louis Vuitton stores and shit like that and stuff.
Fashion malls.
Yeah, something like that. But but we grew up playing football together, and he was not the biggest guy on the field, but he was the toughest son of a bitch on the field, and he was not scared to hit anybody. I was terrified of him.
Your older brother, right?
My older brother, he's a year, a month, and a day older than I am, but I've always been bigger than him.
Yeah.
People thought we were twins when we were babies because we were the same size.
Caught up to
him. Yeah. Like, it's like that SNL scene where Will Ferrell comes out and is born. Have you ever seen that?
I've seen a lot of them. I think if I saw it, I'd probably remember
it's
it.
Pretty disgusting. So, but anyways, yeah. Like I was like a grown ass man when I was born. So I was
kind of funny.
Just a big baby.
That's kind of funny dynamic.
Yeah,
just an older brother might just always have a little edge, even if you're that much bigger than him, huh?
Yeah. So, but we had the same friends growing up and everything, and he's very smart. He was 2 grades ahead, or 2 grades ahead. He graduated high school when he was 16 or 17.
Wow.
You graduated when you were 17, didn't you?
Yeah. I was technically in college.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
My graduation was 2 weeks after I enrolled.
Yeah. I couldn't even get my shit together at 17. So much less graduate college. So, well, one piece of advice that you would give to someone that's getting ready to go in to take the bar, of all the things that you've done, everything that you had to go through, what is the one thing you wish someone would have told you that you figured out after the fact?
Well, I think I mentioned this the other day when we were at the district tap to that girl that was asking who she was in law school and stuff. And I had saw a video that says, hey, if you're like a 2L or a 1L, it would actually help you to get the bar prep course just early. And that way, even when you're taking the courses, just to go through those little mini lectures of say property or say torts or say civil procedure, what the bar prep courses do is essentially compacts all the really necessary information into these little videos. And yes, in your course, you're going to be learning the nitty gritty, the other parts of it. But had I had taken a bar prep course early and actually gone through this stuff as I was in law school, I think I would have been so much more prepared. And I saw this from a lawyer podcast the other day where he was giving this advice. And I thought, oh, that would have really benefited me had I just done it my 2L year.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, I go back to try to take the courses in law school that are on the bar exam.
Yeah.
You might have these electives that seem easier and seem like, oh, I could just maybe do this to get a pass. It is going to help you tremendously just to have a generalized understanding of the bar courses in school. You'll instantly start to remember as you're bar prepping, like things with secure transactions I'm going through. That course is hard, but as I'm going through the bar prep course, they just started coming back to me a little bit because I'd already taken it. Thing like family law, I had already taken it, so that things just started kind of coming back to me. Had I not taken some of those courses, especially secure transactions, I'm like, if I was just doing this off of scratch right now, trying to learn this for the bar exam, it would be in a world of trouble. But
right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you, Dawson. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Circle City Conversations.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, Alex. It's
Yeah.
been a good time.
Absolutely. And hopefully we'll have many, many more conversations in the future. Thank you to everyone for listening in to another episode. Thank you to our sponsor, Hurst Limontes. Be sure to subscribe to tune in to any future conversations.